Hey guys, welcome back. Can you believe that we're in August of 2023? I feel like this summer completely flew by. I wanted to jump on here and give you a quick update as to what's happening in the real estate market here in New Jersey. And believe it or not, it's a lot of the same. There's not a lot of things that's changed in the last few months. We're still seeing the market being a more seller-based, stronger market. We're not seeing properties increase in value quite as quickly as we had seen in the beginning of the year, but there's still a lot of competition because there's not a lot of properties on the market. My personal opinion, this is not based on any fact, but what I think is that the market is going to stay like this, at least for our area in New Jersey. Again, we've talked about this a lot. We're right in the middle of two major metropolitan areas of New York City and Philadelphia, which makes this a very desirable place. Plus, we have really good schools in this general vicinity, which makes this area very desirable for people that are trying to commute or move into or are growing a family and want to move into an area that has good schools and that will still be drivable to both of those metropolitan areas. What I will say is that I think that the reason why we have such a small percentage of homes on the market is because of the big government help that was given a few years ago during COVID, where interest rates decreased so much that a lot of people were able to purchase a home or refinance for as low as like 2.5% of an interest rate. It's very tough for those people, even if they bought their starter homes with that kind of an interest rate, to move up to a home now and have to pay 6 and 7% interest. I mean, you could get a lower interest rate depending on your credit score, on your credit strength, but overall, even if you had great credit and you could even get a 5% interest rate, which we don't see all that much of right now, you're telling people to basically triple essentially their mortgage, which in an environment where we have inflation, food costs a lot more, there's everything in that we need for daily survival is so expensive. There's not a lot of disposable income to increase your mortgage price. Salaries are not catching up to inflation. I saw a video recently talking about the silent depression that our country is going through, and it made a lot of sense. I don't know if this is based out of any fact. I don't know if the economists have actually, verified that this is a thing, but it does make a lot of sense. Basically, the idea is that during the Great Depression, if you look at prices of food, economy, salaries, daily rent and mortgage and those things, and you compare it to how much the cost of those things were compared to how much people made as an average in their economy, they made a lot more, or the percentage was a lot smaller than it is now. There's a big disparity when we look at how much the average income is as to how much the cost of living is. And they're calling it the silent depression. Basically, we're all living through this economy where it's very difficult to be in the middle class, although our parents and maybe our grandparents, or even some of us are in a little bit of the older side, when we were younger, we had younger kids, we were able to have the American dream and were able to purchase our home and extend our home and to go into a bigger home, have 2 or 3 cars. That is something that a lot of people are not able to do, even if they try to be very smart with their money, because of this silent depression that we're going through right now. And the cost of living is much higher than what people are bringing in and what salaries are. And a lot of the salaries have not caught up to that. And until that happens, or until the government steps in and is able to readjust the cost of living is and how much, basically, if they could come in and decrease interest rates, or what they can do to come in and decrease the cost of living to make the cost of living and the salaries earned more equal, we're going to be in this situation where a lot of people can't afford to move up to a bigger home, which means that there's not going to be a lot of homes on the market because basically people are making do with what they have because that's all that they can afford. So we're going to take a look at to see how things improve. I think this is going to be a really important thing within our economy. It's going to be a really important thing where we are right now in terms of our lives and in terms of our children's lives and how they prepare for the future and how to accumulate wealth for the future ourselves. I think a lot of things are going to have to change. A lot of people solely rely on their income, on their salaries, and we are going to have to do a few things more differently in order to be able to accommodate for all of these changes that are happening in our world. So going back to real estate, how that's affecting our real estate market right now is like we talked about before. There's not a lot of houses on the market. There's probably not going to be a lot of houses on the market because people can't afford to move up. And those people, even just think about this, even the older generation that maybe purchased their home for like, nothing now. Back then it was a big deal. But let's even say like somebody that bought their house 25, 30 years ago, a home that now costs maybe $700,000-800,000 that cost them $400,000 back then, which was, a significant amount. Even those people, if they were to sell their home and hopefully they paid it off and they're getting all of that money in cash, for them to move into an active adult community here in New Jersey and have, a livable kind of a similar space, they're going to be spending $600,000-700,000, maybe $500,000. So it's not like they're able to luck out and buy a property for less because the cost of those homes have increased as well. So those people are going to either refinance their home and get a second line of credit and cash out, or they're going to, move out of state. So there's not a lot of options in terms of where to go, even for that generation. So until I think that we're in this situation right now where the government needs to step in and kind of equalize things in order for the economy to catch up and for the real estate market to change. As of right now, we're going to still continue to see a seller's market. We're going to see that properties are going to continue to increase in price, maybe not significantly as much as before, but we're going to see that it's still going to be a difficult time for buyers to purchase because interest rates are high, which is going to make the amount of money that they make, which is going to increase the requirements for how much money they make in order to qualify for these loans, which is also going to reduce the amount of people that are going to qualify for those higher priced homes and increase the amount of people that are going to qualify for the lower priced homes, which is going to continue to get into these bidding wars. It's going to continue to make things a little bit harder for everybody. So my suggestion to you, if you are a buyer, continue to save, watch your credit, make sure not to take a lot of credit cards out. If you do take a lot of credit cards out, try to pay those off, try to pay as much off on them as possible, try to reduce your debt so that you can really use your income to qualify for the home that you want. Thanks again for watching, and keep in tune. Watch us on our YouTube channel so that we can keep you updated as what's happening in the real estate market. And as you see, the economy as a whole, and the news that's happening overall in the country, in the world, affects our local real estate market. So we'll keep you updated as we hear that.